Hello everyone, kumusta po kayo? I hope that you are all doing great. At the outset, I would like to ask for your understanding if I use the English language in this video because our topic is not only for Filipinos but also for foreign citizens who might be interested to know what lies ahead in the move to amend or to revise the Philippine 1987 Constitution. We should know that whatever we do with our constitution will have far-reaching consequences to Filipinos and non-Filipinos alike. I will provide you with a perspective and the reasons why the interests of foreign citizens may be deeply involved in this discussion. But before that, if you are new to this channel, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and to click on that notification bell icon so that you will get notified of our future videos. Maraming salamat po. Not long after the House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed the resolution calling for a constitutional convention, it also passed the bill laying down the guidelines and the policies on how it is going to be carried out. While for its part, the Senate is still conducting hearings on the matter of charter change. As I have mentioned in the previous video, it is not a simple process because we must expect a lot of deliberations, negotiations, and debates along the way. But why is it that the desire to amend or to revise the 1987 Philippine Constitution never dies? The proponents of the charter change for over 2 decades now have varying proposals. Some advocated for a shift from a presidential form of government to a parliamentary form of government, while others simply wanted to remove the term limits for elected government officials. There are those who push for a shift from the unitary form of government to a federal form of government. But the current push for the charter change is now focused, well, as far as they are publicly declaring it, on the removal of restrictions on the foreign ownership of land in the Philippines and on foreign ownership and participation in businesses and investments in the Philippines. That is what I would like to talk about in this video, why the current push for charter change would benefit the former Filipinos and foreign citizens. That is, if the desired changes or targeted changes to the Philippine Constitution would materialize. First, let's talk about land ownership. I already have discussed in my previous videos that foreigners are not allowed to own lands in the Philippines except by hereditary succession. This is under Article 12, Section 7 of the 1987 Constitution. That means the only way a foreigner can acquire land in the Philippines is when a foreigner inherits a piece of land by operation of law or by intestate succession. The foreigner should be considered as a legal heir under the Civil Code of the Philippines. For example, the foreigner is the surviving spouse of the deceased owner or a child of the deceased owner. The foreigner cannot legally inherit a piece of land through testamentary succession or through a last will and testament. In the case of former natural-born Filipino citizens, however, they enjoy the privilege of acquiring lands in the Philippines under Batas Pambansa Bilang 185 for residential purposes and under RA 8179 for business purposes. These, however, are subject to area limitations as I have discussed in our previous videos. Former Filipinos who already owned land in the Philippines before they lost their Philippine citizenship, however, can continue to own those property. Second, foreign investment in the Philippines. Our Constitution is replete with provisions restricting foreign ownership in business in the Philippines. For example, Article 12, Section 2, Paragraph 1 mandates that the exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources shall be under the full control and supervision of the state. The state has the option to directly undertake such activities or to enter into a co-production, joint venture, or production sharing agreements, but only with Filipino citizens or with a corporation or association that is at least 60% Filipino-owned. Also, Section 11 of Article 12 restricts the operation of public utilities to Filipino citizens, and to Philippine corporations or associations that are at least 60% Filipino-owned. It also expressly states that the participation of foreign investors in the governing body of any public utility enterprise shall be limited to their proportionate share in its capital, and all the executive and managing officers of such corporation or association must be Filipino citizens. Under Section 14, Section 4, Number 2, Paragraph 1, educational institutions other than those established by religious groups and mission boards shall be owned solely by citizens of the Philippines, or corporations or associations that are at least 60% Filipino-owned. Such educational institutions should also be under the control and supervision of Filipino citizens. Another restriction is found under Article 16, Section 11, with respect to the ownership of mass media, the ownership and management of which are limited only to Filipino citizens, or to corporations, cooperatives, or associations that are wholly owned and managed by Filipino citizens. As regards the advertising industry, only Filipino citizens or corporations or associations that are 70% Filipino-owned are allowed. So, what changes do we expect should the charter change take place? At the extreme, there are those who suggest removing all these restrictive provisions from the Constitution altogether, while others propose to simply introduce into the Constitution a phrase that would allow the Congress to legislate freely as to the extent of these restrictions. I am talking about the familiar phrase, except otherwise provided by law or unless otherwise provided by law. Some proponents of the constitutional change are saying that they would like to give Congress the leeway in making our economic policies attuned to the demands of the present times and realistic enough to respond to the present challenges. It is argued that the recent legislations have indeed encouraged foreign investments, but the restrictions contained in the Constitution still constitutes a potent barrier for the inflow of these investments. If you may recall, under the Duterte administration, there were at least 3 laws that further liberalized our Philippine economic policies. So the goal is to encourage foreign direct investments and technology transfer, especially in the area of exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources and in public utilities. So what they are saying is that more foreign direct investments would mean more economic activities, more jobs generated for Filipinos, and more taxes for the government. More taxes for the government would mean more infrastructures and better services. Of course, this argument is not tenable to others. In one's perspective, the charter change would only constitute a wholesale of the nation's patrimony. From another's view, it will only benefit the interest of the capitalist few. The rich and the powerful will continue to enrich themselves at the expense of the poor and the powerless, and others argue that the charter change will not solve the perennial problem of corruption in the government. There are also concerns about the possibility that the Constitutional Convention will not stick on the economic provisions of the Constitution only and may touch on the political provisions of the Constitution. Well, we can discuss that in another video because that is one serious topic as well. As a matter of fact, if you read the resolution of both houses number 6, it mentions not only amendment to the Constitution but also revision to the Constitution. As I have said, the process of amending or revising the Constitution will be a tedious process. It won't be easy. We expect a lot of protracted debates, but at the end of the day, it will be the people who will decide on the outcome in a plebiscite. But we need to have an informed decision, meaning we need to know the pros and cons. That is why I am discussing this topic in this channel. I hope that I have provided you with a clear picture on what is going on with the current move to amend or to revise the Constitution. Please feel free to share your thoughts and reactions in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I hope that you will do so. And please don't forget to click on that notification bell icon so that you will get notified of our future videos. Always remember, ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. I will see you in my next video. Ingat po kayo.